I'm Louise Pennington and I work in the primary maths team here at Oxford University Press. I'm going to talk you through what's included in the Numicon One-to-One Starter Apparatus Pack C. If you're not familiar with it, Numicon is a maths programme that's based on a concrete, pictorial and abstract approach, encouraging children to use structured imagery and apparatus to help them understand and explain mathematical concepts. Manipulatives are a really great way to make your teaching more effective, including teaching for understanding, to support generalisation and for assessment. This pack contains everything you need to teach with Numicon one-to-one in the classroom for children aged 9 to 11, so years 5 to 6 or P6 to 7 if you're in Scotland. You'll use this apparatus alongside the number, pattern and calculating and geometry, measurement and statistics teaching resource handbooks 5 and 6. And these will tell you which apparatus you need for each of the activity groups and how best to use it to deepen understanding. Let's take a look at what's inside the apparatus pack. So first we have a box of 80 Numicon shapes. The shapes are an integral part of teaching with Numicon. They offer a tactile and visual structured illustration of number ideas. You'll also find a pack of additional 10 shapes to help introduce and explore decimals and place value further. Coloured counters can be used for exploring patterns and transformations. You can use them with the baseboard laminates, which provide a clearly defined field of action for working on position, direction, movement, symmetry, transformations and area in particular. The orange side is a decimal baseboard which can be used to explore decimals in a more concrete way by offering a representation of an expanded one shape. Numicon shapes can then be used here to represent decimal numbers. Next we have a small set of number rods. These offer another structured illustration for number and are used alongside the Numicon shapes in many of the activity groups to support, for example, volume in cubic centimetres and millimetres. And this 1 to 100 centimetre number rod track is also designed to take the number rods. The decade sections clip together into a metre long track. Like this. And it can be separated out easily and arranged into an array. It's useful for supporting children's calculation work, including place value, partitioning, multiplying and dividing. Here is a Numicon feelie bag. By feeling in the bag, children are encouraged to use tactile skills to support visualisation and develop mental imagery around number and shape, for example. This million Numicon display frieze actually has 1,000,000 dots and it can be displayed around the classroom to provide a visual reference point for the scale of larger numbers, as well as support discussions around the application of square and cube numbers to area and volume. You'll also find a selection of Numicon number lines in the apparatus pack. Starting with this tens laminate number line, it is scaled to take Numicon shapes and shows Numicon 10 shapes laid horizontally end to end, with points marked but not labelled. They can be labelled with multiples, fractions, decimals, percentages or negative numbers using a dry white pen. This is really useful for supporting children with exploring number relationships and calculating. This Numicon 0 to 100 centimetre number line is divided into decades to help children find the tens numbers that are such important signposts. And this negative 12 to 12 number line shows negative and positive numbers to provide a visual reference for counting and calculating with negative numbers, particularly useful when exploring things like temperature. Next we have a 0 to 1.01 decimal number line. The markers on this number line represent thousandths, hundredths and tenths. 0 and 1 are labelled while other markers are left blank to encourage children to think about the number line markers and what each point shows. And finally, there's a fraction number line laminate. This one starts at 0 and has 50 unlabelled markers, which can be labelled with any denomination of fractions that children are working with, again using a dry white pen, providing a valuable tool of exploring equivalence and comparing fractions with different denominators. Next we have spinners, which can be used in many activities as an alternative to dice. They have a variety of different overlays too. There are photocopy masters for these that include angles and degrees, and they can be found at the back of the Teaching Resource Handbook and also on Numicon Online. These are useful for generating numbers, as are the 0 to 100 numeral cards, which you can use with the 1 to 100 card number track. It's divided into 10 strips, and the decade sections can be arranged horizontally end to end or as an array, so similar to 100 square. So that's an overview of what you'll get in the Numicon 1-to-1 Starter Apparatus Pack C. If you want to find out more, including tips on how to best use the manipulatives to deepen understanding, you can visit our website or get in touch with your OUP educational consultant to order the pack. See the details on the screen now.